Well, hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Win Government Contracts podcast with my co host, Kai. Kai, want to say anything to anybody quickly before we get started?
Hey, world. It's good to be back. It's been a few weeks since I've been on, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the conversations today.
I know, Kai, you've been playing hooky on me, man. Just take some personal time, take care of business. I guess business comes before the podcast. Is that what you're saying, man?
I hate to say that, but it's not that. It's just that, some other things have come up, conferences, meetings, all the above. So, but should be good for the next few weeks. So hopefully nothing comes up.
Well, hey, I always appreciate you because podcast is how we, kind of we love learning, and then we use our experiences to share with everybody. So if you're new to the podcast here, welcome. And every week we bring in entrepreneurs so that we can talk about their business. And so the purpose of this podcast is really helping businesses navigate the government contracting marketplace and showing you techniques, strategies on how to win government contracts. If you're joining us live, thank you for joining us. If you're watching this on replay, enjoy the show, the podcast here. We're going to cover a lot of good content in here. If you are joining us, say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from. That would be awesome. And then I'm going to introduce our entrepreneur, Vicky Vang. And so, Vicky, take a few minutes, share a little about your business and where you are in the contracting journey.
Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Vicky Vang. My company is called Alpha Professional Services, and we are management consultant. Where I am in this journey is still working on my website. I believe I'm done with the capability statement and trying to get my branding done. It's that area of it has been challenging for me, but I'm still working on it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And that's it.
Okay, awesome. And part of what we're doing with Vicky right now is we're helping her. This is real world scenario, right? We're not talking about hypothetical. We're not talking about theories. We're talking about practical application strategies, techniques that you can use to help your business right now. So we've been working with Vicky for a few weeks now, getting her procurement ready. And then we're going to continue to go through this journey and really get to a point where we're going to teach her how to find opportunities. We're going to teach her how to write proposals. So you're going to get a chance to see her journey in the government contracting marketplace over the months to come. And then if you are joining us, we want to add another fellow entrepreneur that we can help you on your journey. Now, all of you who's joining us in this podcast here, you will get help if you stay on towards the latter half of this podcast. We will open it up, and all the questions that you have, anything you want to learn about government contracting, if it's related to what we're talking about today, or if it's related about anything else that you have questions about, we want to answer those questions as well. So join us on the podcast because we want you to have your time to talk about that as well. But today we're going to be talking about what Vicky has been going through. And so we're going to pull up our smart sheet. And for all of you joining us, I see people from West Palm. Awesome. I see people from Deerfield Beach, Florida. So people from all over the place. So some of you, let us know where you're joining us from, and we will continue here. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go to talk a little about what we've been working on, then we're going to move forward and talk about new things this week here as we continue into new content for Vicky's journey. And then we are looking for another entrepreneur. So if you are interested in being one of the entrepreneurs that we actually work with, let us know, and we will work with you through this journey here. So let me share my screen here. So there's two main tools that we use in our podcast here. So the first one is our Gov Fast Track software. We use this here to help track the work that Vicky's been tasked to do in her contracting journey. And then we also use a tool called GovGenie, and GovGenie tracks your pipeline, your opportunities. And so we're going to be using this here very shortly to help Vicky track her opportunities as she's looking for projects. So, but this is a tool we're using. And so we've been working on her brand. And last week, we continued to work on her brand. So let's look at your logo concept. And you've got multiple logo concept that you've been working on. So let's come in here. Part of it is we want you to have a brand that's going to represent $1 million of contracts. And so creating a brand that speaks to agencies is important, and that's really part of it. So what you did is you said, okay, you got some, logo concepts here. So this is APS, Alpha Professional Services. So of the logos that we've been looking at, which one are you finalizing on? I know you have the lion also. This is the other logo concept. And any other concepts that you want to discuss with us and get some feedback on?
Not really. I don't know if anybody in the audience would like to give some input on the logo concepts. That would be appreciated.
Okay, so far we're looking at 2 that you're finalizing on, right? You were looking at the lion, and we're looking at APS, the acronym. So if you are joining us, I see someone say the lion is a good logo. They kind of like that. Anybody else want to give Vicky some feedback here? There's no right or wrong in creating a brand. I've been giving you feedback, throughout the week about which one, some thoughts from my perspective, but either one you want to go with is fine. All right. So your logo is one thing. What I want to talk about today, I want to talk about, Kai, you have some comments? What are your thoughts about?
I like logo? I did see some comments about the lion. I like the other one with the APS logo. Just my thoughts on government contractors. A lot of government contractors keep it pretty simple when it comes to branding and logos and things of that nature. I think it's just to I don't know actually the true reasoning behind that, but the logo, the APS logo, I think just to me just seems like it appeals to a broader audience and definitely would fit right in with a lot of government contractors.
And this acronym, right? Because governese, learning governese, and government contracting is all about acronyms. So if I have to choose between the 2, I go with APS as well. But again, Vicky, it's your business. We're here to give you comments and thoughts. So whichever one you go with is totally up to you. Just remember that as you do this here, your color scheme, this is going to be with you for the life of your business. Feel free to make whatever final decision you need to make, and then we can start using that as your main brand. So today, what I want to talk about your goals, your visions, your mission for your business, and your taglines and things like that. So part of your branding is getting procurement ready. Is you not only do you have to create a website capability statements, which we've covered. If you're joining us or watching the replay, go watch some of our previous live sessions where we talk about those things there. But today, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about your brand, and from the perspective of getting you your concept, your personal message, your vision. You have to answer your why. Everything you do has to be why. So, for example, let me start off with talking about why first. Simon Sinek did a great video about why. The link is right here. I will put this in the chat if you are interested in watching the. Your business have to answer the why. If it doesn't answer the why, money cannot be the why. Money is a byproduct. So you have to answer the why. And watch the video. It does a better job in terms of what I'm going to share. But I want to spend my time talking about the vision, creating a vision map, setting goals for your company, talking about your vision, mission, and goals, and so forth. So I've created a PowerPoint here, so I'm going to pull this up. Kai, do you have vision, mission, goals for your company you want to share as I'm pulling this up? You want to share with the audience and with Vicky what you guys have done for your business?
Of course.
Go for it.
Yeah, our vision is to provide world-class analytics to federal government or federal, state, and local governments. We're really focused on the end user of the application, and we're aware that a lot of government platforms and analytics tend to be a little bit more complex and not necessarily user-friendly. The user-centric design approach is something that the government is now kind of taking on. So we employ those principles to each and every one of our projects. So our mission is to empower federal, state, and local agencies to harness the power of data and technology for actual insights. We believe that technology and data is, a change agent for a lot of organizations and can be something that really improves the outcomes of missions. So that was the vision, mission. What was the other one I needed to?
Vision, mission, and
was that it, Abe?
Goals? Yeah, any specific goals that you guys have as a organization? Do you have any specific goals for your company in the government market?
So our goals, right now are to. Yeah, so our goals specifically in the government market is to grow our business at the National Institute of Health. We're currently working with the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, working on an AI project. We'd like to grow our footprint in NIH, and then we're also here in CDC and formal relationships, or here in Atlanta, and trying to grow our business at CDC as well. Those are two main agencies that we're targeting, as well as that we're trying to maximize our 8A certification, as well as our hub zone and women-owned status.
Okay. Yeah. As a company, 8A is one of the stronger certifications. So absolutely maximize the 9 years you're in there. So we're going to be talking about this next part here. We're going to be talking about your vision, mission, and goals as a business. And all this has to go back to your why. So you as an entrepreneur, especially a government contractor, you deserve answers to some of these questions, right? So if you ask yourself this here, are you living the life that's meant for you, right? Do you know what your purpose is? And are you feeling fulfilled in what you do? All this has to do because as an entrepreneur, these questions here has to align with your business as well. And if they're not aligned, then you may lose motivation along the way. And money cannot be the motivation. Money is a tool. Money is a byproduct. So, and the last question is, do you want to discover what your true talents are? And so we're going to be talking about this here, and then but we're going to do this here by addressing it from setting your goals and helping you to understand your vision, your mission through this process here. So I'm going to ask you, Vicky, what if you have to define, what do you think is the difference between vision, mission, and goal? If you have to explain what the differences are here. And for all of you online joining us live, put in the chat what you think is the difference between vision, mission, and goal.
So what I see as far as vision is the overall big picture of the company. Mission is what you want to accomplish, or mission is how to get there, and then goal is what do you want to accomplish.
Okay, I like that. That's a very good answer. So let me give you my own perspective on it. So for me, vision is, in terms of creating a vision statement for your business. So vision has to do with the what. What is it that you're trying to do, but it has to do with the big picture. So your vision statement is the big picture statement. And it has to do with the future. It's not the now. It's about the future. And your vision statement has to be powerful and has to be memorable. If you don't remember your vision statement as the entrepreneur, as the CEO of your own company, Vicky, do you think your staff, do you think your clients, your vendors will even care about it? So you have to create something, a vision statement that is so bold, so big, that is inclusive of other people, and it has to be powerful. It has to be memorable. So what I mean by that, let's look at some examples of vision statements. So any Trekkies out there? If you're a Trekkie in the chat, let us know that you're a Trekkie. I'm a big Trekkie. I've seen almost every single one of them. I'm watching Michael Burnham right now, and the new series that just came. Well, yeah, this is the final season of the latest Star Trek series. So, but Star Trek, right? The vision statement is space, the final frontier. I mean, I get goosebumps just saying that. Space, the final frontier. This vision statement is so big. I mean, think of the infinity of space, that their vision is to go into the infinity of space, that is the final frontier. That vision is so big, and that you can never get to the end of infinity. We have sent Voyagers and spacecraft into space to where it's gone so far, so deep out there that our technology, radio waves and frequencies, cannot come back to the Earth. That's the infinity of what space is. But that's their vision statement, right? Now, Google's vision statement is to develop a perfect search engine. Now, what I like about this here is the word perfect. Is there such a thing as perfection, right? Some of you who are familiar with Lean Six Sigma and quality, TQM, total quality management, where in manufacturing, your goal is to have zero defect. In safety, your goal is to have zero accidents. For Google, they're saying we want to develop the perfect search engine. The reason why they control about 85, 86% of all internet searches in the United States is because they have such a audacity to make a goal that they're going to create the perfect search engine. And that vision coalesces a lot of what they do into developing this technology for what they do there. Now, they've expanded to many, many different things, but as Google, as a search engine, that is their vision statement there. Short, powerful, and your vision statement has to be so big that you will never achieve it. If you can achieve it, it's a goal. It has to be beyond what's achievable, and that you will keep going until you feel like, man, I'm never there. But that's the purpose of vision statement, right? Is to have it where it's so strong that you can never get there. So for your business, you have to develop something like that. And so we're going to talk more about, and one of the goals for Vicky this week is to help her create her vision statement. For GCA, right, the Government Contractors Association, our vision is to create access to help businesses get into the government market, access for contracting officers to access more qualified small business. Small business represent about 20% of contracting dollars. This vision here, we will never get to the end of this vision here, is creating access. We're going to continue to keep on creating more access to help small business get to the government market. This is our vision. Very short, 3 words. That's it. But the vision is so big that helping small business to have access to the government market, I don't know if we ever achieve that, because government contracting has always been dominated by big companies. Now, my own personal vision statement is it was worth it. And here's what I mean by that. It was worth it. I envision myself, the last words I speak in my deathbed, I want to reflect back on my life, and I want to say the time that Kai and I was on the podcast with Vicky, it was worth it. The time that you as an entrepreneur joined us on this podcast, it was worth your time because you got some gold nuggets out of it. You got some tips, some strategies that help change the course of your business. The sacrifices that my wife and kids make so that I can be here with you guys, it was worth it. The time that we went fishing, we're taking government contractors out to do a fishing trip out in Florida in June. If you're interested, let us know. The time that we hung out and connected and built a relationship with each other, it was worth it. So that's kind of, this is my own vision statement these are the last 4 words I want to say. It was worth it. So now what I want you to do is, Vicky, I want you to think through, and you can research other companies' vision statement. You can have a paragraph vision statement, but I don't like long vision statement. I prefer very short, succinct, powerful, so that you can remember it. Many of our members know GCA's vision statements to create access, right? Now, for some of you who's joining us, tell us what your vision statement is on the chat area here. Or if you're watching replay, put your vision statement in the comments area. Let us know what your vision statement is. So let's talk about your mission statement now. So your vision statement is the big picture. Let's see. Yep. So no one's put your vision statement. Put your vision statement in the chat. Let us know what it is. So let's talk about mission. Mission statement is a little bit different vision. Mission statement has to do with the why. It is what I call your purpose statement. And so the vision, it has to do with your eyes, has to do with the future. Your mission has to do with the why, has to do with the now. Whereas vision is the future, mission is the now. And it has to be powerful and memorable. Again, if you don't remember it, no one else is going to remember it because you're the CEO, you're the entrepreneur, you're the business owner. You have to remember it. So let's go back to Star Trek. Mission statement is to seek out new life, to boldly go where no one has gone before. I mean, I love this here, right? This is what they're doing day in, day out. The vision is to space is the final frontier, right? Their mission is every day what they're doing. The now is that they're seeking out new life, boldly going where no one has gone before. And then if you are, for Google, to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. I mean, they've done that. I mean, as soon as you put your website up, Vicky, within hours, Google is already crawling it and they're indexing it and they're making it available. Now, you might not rank on the first page within the hour that you put your website up, but it's in there. Google have indexed it. Every single website that goes up, Google is indexing it, and they're organizing this information and making it universally accessible and useful at the same time, right? You can have information, but if it's not accessible and useful, it has no meaning. Now, Kai, let's talk about this here a little bit. You're a big data person. You're a data scientist, and comment more about making information useful, and whether it's through AI, machine learning, or just big data, and talk a little bit more about this concept here, making data useful.
Well, there's a lot of, or a never-ending number of ways data and technology can be used. So, to your point, Google's mission, they're going to be on their mission for forever. Because there will always be new data, there will always be new ways that data can be applied and utilized. So, their mission is obviously very vast, and it speaks to the value that Google brings the world.
Yep, and there's new data every day. Their mission is almost like a vision statement too, because there's always new data, and they will continue to keep on indexing all this data out there. Yep. And part of why your mission is important is your team. Your team has to know the why, and it can't just be let's go make a lot of money. that's not a motivator, right? Money is a motivator when you have limited resources of money. It's a strong motivator. But at some point when money is not a motivator anymore, if your mission is not strong enough, um, you have high turnover in your company. The government have to buy into your vision as well, because the government had their own missions as well, and so your mission has to align with the government and what they're doing as well. So let's talk about my GCA. Our vision statement is EFA: to educate, facilitate, and advocate. So that's our for GCA. That's our mission statement. Personally, for me, my personal mission statement is, yes, I have a personal mission statement. My mission is DAT. DAT is I borrowed it from my son when he was a little baby, about maybe 10, 11 months old. His first word was not mommy, was not daddy, but his first word was what dat. He was a curious little baby, and he pointed at something. He said, what dat? And so DAT, I kind of took that from him, and I said, my mission is this here: to discover my gifts, apply my gifts, and to transfer my gifts. And so that's kind of what I do every day. I understand what my gifts are. People ask me, hey, you know so much about government contract. Why don't you go and be a government contractor? I'm not a government contractor because I understand my mission. And if I didn't understand my mission, I would be a government contractor. But because I understand my mission, my personal life mission is to empower other companies to win government contracts. And since we've been doing this here, we've trained over 14,000 businesses. We've helped companies win billions and billions of government contracts. To me, that is my legacy, right? My legacy is not to win millions and billions in contracts. That's not what I was created to do. I understand my mission very clearly. And so some people feel like, why aren't you doing it? Because I understand my mission, my personal mission in life. And when you understand that, other things are less important because you understand what you're meant to do in life. And now I do government contracts through teaming partners, through companies that we have equity stake in, but not necessarily personally a company that I own doing contracting itself. So goals, we go into goals. Goal has to do with the how. How are you going to get there, right? And it has to do with your actions. And, whereas your vision has to do with your eyes, your goals have to do with your hands and your feet. And what are the actions that you are doing so that you can achieve the vision and the mission that you have there? And then one other thing I want to talk about goals, it has to be measurable and controllable by you. You can have a big goal, but if it's not measurable and you can't control it, it's hard to get there. And even when you get there, you don't know you're there because you can't measure it. So what does that look like? Goals. So for example, if you have a personal goal of, I want to exercise 3 times a week, that is a better goal than I want to lose weight, right? If you just say, I want to lose weight, well, how are you going to lose your weight? Are you going to, what's the mechanism? What is a more specific goal to help you lose the weight? Another goal professionally is, you can't just say, I want to get to 500,000 in revenue, or I want to win, I want to win $1 million in government contracts. You have to say, I'm going to attend a chamber meeting every single week. You have to say, I'm going to attend a matchmaking event with an agency every month. These things you can control. Reaching $1 million in revenue goal through government contracts, or $10 million in government contract without a specific measurable goal, it's more of a dream than a goal itself. It's great to have dreams. It's great to have things that like we want to reach $100 million in revenue. That's great, but then you got to have your specific goal of how you're going to reach 100 million, and that's what's measurable. So other examples in terms of goals, right? So this is personal goals. When my wife and we got married, we said our goal is to see 50 states before we're 50. We got to about 13, 14 states, and we discovered cruising. And so we've been doing a lot of cruising. We haven't been seeing a lot of states. Although 3 weeks ago, we did go to Arizona, just a quick getaway, flew out from Atlanta, Georgia to Phoenix, Arizona. No agenda. We just got there and just say, hey, we're going to sleep in, wake up, do what we want to do. Nothing specific on our agenda. But we had a good time. We, hiked the desert and had a good time there. Try a lot of good, authentic local food as well. So philanthropy goals, right? It can't just be all business goals. It has to be balanced, right? You have to have personal goals, philanthropy goals, fund goals, business goals. All of that is important in terms of having a well-balanced life. So philanthropy goals is volunteer at a hospital, 1 day each month, right? Giving to the world should be part of the goals that you make for your business, for yourself as well. We, GCA, we actually have a goal that once a year, as a organization, we volunteer at a nonprofit. So we invite everybody. We wear our GCA shirts, and we go out and we help the community do something. And so we need to do that this year. We haven't got that planned out yet for this year, so we need to think through how we're going to do that. So what in the past, what we've done is we've gone to St. Vincent, and we go and help bring in all the food that gets donated to them, and then we sort out all the clothes and help them rack it up to be given out or to be sold to the community. So, and we've done other things too. So creating your vision, mission, all of that. What I've done is I view life as this here, right? Your future. This is how most people view their life. The future is small. The present is kind of like the mid section here, and then the past is so big. It's the Snowman Effect. And I said that's not how you should view life. You should view life in a very different. The future, it has to be so big, and your present is what it is, and the past you have to make it small. Now, what do I mean by the past being so big? The past is your dream has to be so big, and your future has to be beyond what you can even imagine. It has to be so big. The past becomes so big because maybe the challenges that you've had in the past, it becomes so big that it holds you back. Maybe you started a small business in the past and you lost your investment, and you say, I will never start another business again. That's how you make the past so big that it minimizes your future. Or maybe in life, you say, I had a business partner and my business partner cheated me, and I will never have another business partner again. Well, because of a past situation, you made it so big in your life that you don't trust anybody anymore. Or when I was 12, I thought I was in love, right? My first crush. And I said, I'm going to, we were going to go roller skating. She was going to go. She didn't know I was going to go, but I heard that she was going to go. So I was going to go. She doesn't know that I had a crush on her. And I went. And when I got there, she was holding another boy's hand, and it crushed my heart. And I could have said, you know what? I'll never fall in love again. Unfortunately, I could do that, right? And that's what we do in life, right? Sometimes we say, hey, that woman hurt me or that man hurt me, and I will never trust another person again. Don't let the past be so big that it limits your future. And so when you're coming in here and you're setting your vision statement, setting your goals and your mission and all of that, I want you to be bold. I want you to be courageous. I want you to put whatever you want in here for your business. So Vicky, I'm going to give you this sheet here, and I want you to put in your vision statement and your mission statement, and then put in a few goals in here for yourself, right? Self-growth, careers, fun, spiritual, relationship, fitness, and family, and finance. So that's part of creating a balanced approach. Now, as an entrepreneur, you're going to be working 60, 80 hours a week to grow your business. These are the hard years of your business. And as an entrepreneur, if you're not working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, because you have to be the CEO. You also have to be the HR person. You also have to be the proposal writer. You also have to be the capture manager. You have to wear all these different hats. That's part of what you have to do to get to where you want to go. So I'm gonna give you this sheet here. Actually, it's already in Gov Fast Track, and work on your vision mission statement for this week, and we will give you some more feedback on it as you continue to create your brand. And this is what you're going to be communicating with businesses, with clients, with vendors, with agencies. You want that to be part of what you do here. So let's shift. We got a few minutes left. So I'm going to talk about strategies. Now, this is strategies has to do with your short term and long term. And while I'm pulling this up here, Vicky, do you want to share thoughts about vision, mission, and goals? And any thoughts you have on that as I'm pulling this up here?
Yes, I do. When you were talking about the vision statement, the sheet that you have there, I have completed it during the course. I think I'm going to have to revisit it because as I'm listening to you talk about the vision, something did come to mind, and I will share with the rest of you next week.
Okay, awesome.
And then the mission, yeah, it really opened my eyes to something that I've always thought about. And when you said that, I recently had a meeting with somebody, and I think thinking big is something that when I told my client to think big, it just kind of blew his mind. Like, why are you going to McDonald's to get a cheeseburger meal when you could own McDonald's? And he never thought of it that way. And so, that gives me an idea of the vision and the direction to go.
Okay, well, I can't wait for you to reveal it to us next week. So come back next week, all of you who are watching here, and see how Vicky reveals her vision, mission, and some of her goals. But let's talk about contracting strategies now. And there's short terms and long terms. I'm going to start off with short term, and then we're going to wrap it up with long term contracting strategies. Let's start with this principle here, right? Most of you guys understand that there's multiple markets, right? There's the B2C, B2B, and B2G marketplace. And B2C is in the chat. If you know what B2C is, put in the chat. And the B2B, what you think is B2B. And then B2G is what I'm going to spend some time about, right? We're talking about the business to government, B2G, business to government. One thing that trumps all of this here is actually even more important than this here. And let me talk about P2P, right? All of this here is really a subset of P2P. And P2P is people to people. As a business owner, you're really in the people business. You're not in the consumer business. You're not business to consumers. You're not business to business. You're not business to government. You're really people to people. And let me give you guys a quick story. When I first started one of my very first business, I started a office furniture company, and I had $300 to my name. And people say, "Hey, how are you going to start a business with $300 to your name?" I went overseas to be a missionary, came back to the United States, went to corporate America. I didn't like corporate America. I said, I'm going to start another business. And people say, "Oh, you got to start a business." And office furniture business is B2B, right? Business is my client. But I tell people that I'm in the P2P business. It's really not B2B. People to people is really, business is about people. It's about finding people with a problem and finding a solution for them. And so anything, doesn't matter what you do. If you're in janitorial, you're not in the janitorial business. You're in the people business. Your mission is to give a clean working environment so that people can be productive at the workforce. That's really the business you're in. It's about people. If you're selling software, or if you're doing website development, Your mission is not software, it's not development. Your mission is really helping people to be effective using software to help them, make their life easier using software. So that's really, you're in the people business. It doesn't what matter industry you're in the people business. But as we break that down, we're really in the, for what we're talking about here, you're in the B2G business, business to government. But most of the time, you think you're in the B2G. I want to talk about not just B2G, right? I want to talk about a better approach. B2G means that you are the prime to the government, and you have suppliers, vendors, subcontractors, teaming partners, and you're the prime. So you're really the B to B to G, but that's not really even the more effective, right? As a new company, Vicky, for you, your business in the government market, your approach is not to be the prime. Your approach is to be the supplier, a vendor, a teaming partner, a subcontractor to a prime. And in the future, what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to find prime contractors so that you can be a sub to them. So if you're joining us, you're watching the replay, joining us live, keep coming back, because I'm going to show Vicky exactly how she can be a prime contract, or before she can become a prime contractor, how to find the prime contractors who are winning contracts so that she can be a subcontractor to them. That's a very important principle here. But beyond that, it goes even further than that, right? You, as a tier 1 sub or teaming partner, you're working with the prime. You can also have tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 subs as well, helping you. So the value of supply chain here can go as far as 5, 6, 10 tiers deep. But keep in mind that the more tiers it goes, the less profit margin. So typically, a prime contractor will have tier 1, tier 2. Every now and then they might have a tier 3, but it doesn't go beyond tier 3 because the margins are not there at some point. And the government, the company that's on the hook is the prime. The government normally doesn't care about who the subs are. Every now and then, if you're a teaming partner, they do care. But if you're just a subcontractor, the only company that's held accountable is the prime itself to the fulfillment of the contract. So the government is looking to the prime. The prime, no one has a bench of thousands of people ready to be deployed on a project. You use subcontractors, use vendors, teaming partners, and 70% of projects in the government market requires 2 or more companies to work together. And every prime, especially primes, they are required to subcontract 35% of the project to small business anyway. So when they win a project over 750,000, that prime is required to work with small businesses. So that's really part of your strategy. So your first strategy in the government market is to be a tier 1 sub to a prime. That's really what we're talking about. So we're talking about B to B to B to G. So that's really what we're talking about here. And every now and then you might be a tier 2 sub. So the red indicates where you're at, right? So you're red here, you're a tier 2 sub to tier 1, supporting the government. So practically, let's talk about additional key short-term strategy for your business in the government market. Number 1, be a subcontractor. If you're going to be the prime, go after micro purchases or credit card purchases. Micro purchases are any project under 10,000. That's where you want to start because it doesn't require past performance. If you've been on a $10,000 project, 99% of the time they're not going to ask you for 3 references. And so if you're new, you want to go after micro purchases or go after credit card purchases. Credit card purchases are generally under 25,000, and it's just a purchase order. Also go after SAP, right? Simplified acquisition procedures. And typically that comes out as an RFQ or as every now and then purchase order, 250,000 or less. SAPs are any project under 250,000. The regulation says that the contracting officer must make every effort to award it to a small business. That's why you want to go after SAP project. I'm not talking about SAP, the software, the ERP, the enterprise resource planning software. I'm talking about the contracting SAP, which is the simplified acquisition procedure. So this is really what you want to look for. Anything that's under 250,000. Some other short-term strategy is you got to build your capture team. You need a proposal, right? You need a capture manager. You need CPA, HR, and many, many other different people. So build your past performance. Any substantial project that's not a micro will require 3 references. So your goal is to win small little project that doesn't require past performance, so that you can use that as past performance, or you want to use your teaming partner's past performance. So this is the beautiful thing about the government market. And Kai, in a second, love for you to share how you guys are using teaming partners to help the simple view pursue contract opportunities. So teaming partner, in the SBA and through Congress, they say that as a small business, you can use your teaming partners to meet the fulfillment or the requirement of 3 past performance. Now, you can't lie to the government and say, these are my past performance. That's not how you position it. You're saying, my company is ABC, my teaming partner is DEF, and collectively, these are our past performance to meet the requirements of this project that we're pursuing. So you indicate that as your teaming partner's past performance, but it fills the 3 past performance that you need. And typically, past performance are for 3 years, within the last 3 years, and similar, what they call it, relevant past performance, similar in scope. If you're bidding on a $5 million project, you don't want to use a $5,000 past performance, right? Because it's not relevant. If you're bidding on $5 million, you can use, $1 million, $2 million, $4 million, $10 million is more relevant in that regard. So, Kai, you want to share a little about practically what teaming means for you and what you're doing?
Yeah. So, as a business that's kind of, we're young in a sense for federal contracting, we rely on teaming a lot for all of our pursuits. So each opportunity that we're trying to go after for responding to an RFI or RFP usually includes one of our teaming partners. So when we think about teaming partners, is usually around probably 3 different areas. Either it's because our team partner has a relationship with the organization that we're trying to pursue an opportunity at. So, for instance, if if we're trying to go after an opportunity with the NCIRD at CDC, we would look at our teaming partners to see who in our network has won an opportunity or works with that particular area of CDC. Or it's for we need a particular capability. So we have, part of the capability of the contract, and our team partner has some other capabilities to add to our overall kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess portfolio, or round out the offering to the government when we're pursuing an opportunity, or they're on a particular vehicle that we're not on. So if they're an 8A stars 3. They're on that particular vehicle. And the contracting officer wants to award a contract through that vehicle, and we don't have access to it. We would partner with, one of our team partners that is on that vehicle. They would be the prime, we would be the sub, in order to get access to the opportunity.
Okay. Absolutely. Teaming partner is your key to fulfilling the past performance. And what I'm going to do is I can't cover everything about short-term strategies. And next week, what we'll do is we'll talk about long-term strategies. But I will make this short-term strategies here available. I'm going to put it into the chat in a second here. And so that if you're joining us, you can get access to this short-term strategy for your business. And a lot more strategies in there that we can talk about. But at this time here, so Vicky, for this week here, what I want you to do is I wanted you to think through your short-term strategies. I want you to think through who are some potential teaming partners for your business. Everybody knows about, on average, about 150 people. You got a great personality. You probably know more than the average person of 150 people. So think through your network of people that, given what I do, who might be a potential teaming partner for my business? So that's one task I want you to do this week here. And then think through who might also be potential, not only just teaming partner, but vendors. What vendors do you need to help you to get to the contracts that you want? So do you need a supplier of products? Do you need a vendor that provide you certain type of services to help you to get to where you want to go? So I want you to identify, your vendors, your teaming partners, your subcontractors, and for this week, and we'll talk more about those, and I'll help you vet through some of that process a little bit. So with that, I'm going to see Vicky, if you have any questions to ask, and then we will open it up for everybody else. If you're joining us live, I want to see if you guys have any questions you guys have about what we covered today, whether it's your vision, mission, or whether it's your short-term, long-term goals. We'll talk more about long-term goals next week, but see if you guys have any questions. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and we'll see who has questions. But Vicky, we'll start with you. What questions do you have about anything that we covered?
I really don't have too many questions, or actually at the moment I don't have any questions. If the audience have any, you can address those.
Okay. Anybody have questions about what we've covered, or anything that you guys are working on and you say, hey, you know what? Let me get some feedback on that there to see what that is. Maybe we may have some answers for you. If you're joining us live on any of our social platform, this is a great time for you to ask any questions that you may have. While we're doing that there, Kai, you want to, any comments you have to as relates to overall what we've covered today, while people are thinking through the questions?
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on a really important topic around teaming. That's probably the most important thing I think when you're starting out is finding a couple of team partners you can work with to get started. I don't know who I was talking to recently, but I was telling them that even if I won a contract somehow as a prime, and I would still work with a teaming partner on it, because we're new, and the government has a way of going about things, and the way they I just kind of give us a quick example. Our very first federal contract, our very first meeting with the client it was a really weird meeting. Just because I'm used to how we approach it in the commercial space, it was different in government. She was looking for different things that we weren't necessarily prepared to talk about at that point in time. And it wasn't a good first impression. I mean, obviously we recovered from there after that, but had we had a teaming partner on that opportunity, he or she would have told us hey, we need to do this for our first call, and make sure that we approach it in the right way. So I can't stress that enough, that teaming partners can literally change, the trajectory of your business.
Agreed. Absolutely. That is a secret recipe to getting to where you want to go, is by having other companies that have the resources that you don't have, the capabilities, the relationship that you don't have, the experiences that you don't have. If you're a big firm like Accenture, if you're a big firm like IBM, Northrop Grumman, SAIC, they have a bench of people sitting around. They have billions of past performance, so they may not need anybody when they're writing a proposal. But as a small business, you need other small businesses to do that there. And so, yep, grow your network, grow your relationships. Mm-hmm. Let's see if there's any questions that came in. So I don't see any questions that came in. Via, did you see any questions that came in that we need to address?
Doesn't seem that way.
I think Effie made a comment. She said that government contracting is about getting the contract and not doing the contract. And let me explain what she means by that. So that's a very good comment there. When you're as a government contractor, your goal is to win the contract. Let's assume that you go and win a contract to sell computers. You don't have to go manufacture computers. There's already companies like Dell and Asus and other companies that's already manufacturing computers. You just need to partner with them and sell their computers into the government market. And now, or if you decide that you want to do HVAC, or you decide to do janitorial, you just need to learn how to win contracts. There's a whole bunch of HVAC companies out there. In fact, when you were driving out this morning, you probably passed all these white vans, HVAC companies, because right now it's starting to get warmer. People are trying to get their AC to work again. There's a dime a dozen HVAC companies out there. They don't know how to win contracts. So they can be your tier 2 sub while you're being a tier 1, or you might be the prime itself. So government contract is about winning the contract. Doing the contract, it just depends on who you partner with. So very good point there.
I got a little bit of a rebuttal on that one.
Let's talk about that.
just because I think I agree with you. That is sometimes the mindset in government contracting, and it is in some cases, if you're supplying products to the government, yeah, totally makes sense, right? Like if you don't need to be IBM or Dell, you can just sell Dell computers to the government. But if you're providing a service to the government, not only is it difficult nowadays to actually make that work just because of labor costs, right? Like, you go find a company that may do a janitorial contract. So you win a janitorial contract that for X number of dollars, you go try to find another janitorial company to do that work. Your margins might be really thin on that contract, right? Just because of the nature of the market right now. But the other part of it too is that you really don't end up building any real value or expertise in your business if you don't know how to do the work. I think it's okay in the beginning. Like, if we want a cybersecurity contract, okay, yeah, we'll partner with somebody that knows more about cybersecurity because I don't know much about it. But once I'm on that contract, I'm going to be trying to learn everything I can because that's an expertise that needs to be offered to the government, and I need to be able to understand that. And my business becomes so much more valuable at that point. Because eventually you're going to sit there and you're going to talk to a program manager, and they're going to ask you a question about cybersecurity, and you're not going to know what to say because you don't know anything about it. For me personally, I think it's important for you to be able to execute on the work that you're given, especially because there's so many government contractors that make a bad name for government contractors because all they're doing is being a pass through.
Yeah, pass-through is not favored by the government, right? In fact, you never want to use the word pass-through in the government market. You have to add value to the contract. And Kai does make a very good point there that in the government market, we call it self-performing. So you have when you start off, you have to be able to, you don't have the ability to self-perform. So you team and you partner and you joint venture, and that's why it's the early strategy. Early strategy is to be a subcontractor and use other vendors and use other subcontractors to help you. As you start to mature, then we'll talk more about the long-term strategy next week, right? Where your strategy is more about what Kai's talking about. You have to have the ability to self-perform, to add value. Because if all you're doing is subcontracting, at some point you have no real capacity and your business dies because you can't self-perform. Adding value, and you make more profit margins. There's other things that you can do by actually self-performing versus subbing out. But starting off short-term versus long-term, great point on that guy about being able to build an internal team and self-perform.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we are at a wrap here. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us on this episode of Win Government Contracting Podcast here. Kai, good having you back. Vicky, as an entrepreneur, we cover a lot of things to help you in your business. And we will see all of you next week, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, every single week, Wednesday. And come back and join us and bring your friends so that we talk about how to win more government contracts. Take care. Have a good one, everybody.
Good seeing you, Vicky. Thanks,